So I'm trying out a bit of a new kind of video. I really don't have much time to do my edits anymore. I have a lot of other projects. So when I do get to work on Whimsy videos, it's always on my free day, and I still end up working all day to finish a video that will be outdated within a few hours. Over the past few weeks, I've tried out doing more minimal edits and not even writing a script, but frankly, it's not enough. I was noticing that I was compromising the quality of the videos, or at least the information inside of them, just because I didn't want to have to edit them. And I don't think that's fair or fun. So today I'm gonna try something a little bit different, a little bit new. There's more of a script, more or less, but the editing will be very, very minimal at best. I might throw in a trailer or some gameplay, a picture or two, but most of the time I just plan on talking because I simply don't have the time to edit and to make these videos, because I simply don't have the time to edit the videos anymore, and the videos don't make enough money. I like Starfield a lot, which surprised me because I've never been a huge Bethesda fan. I never got into the Elder Scrolls or Fallout, and not from a lack of trying. They just never seemed to grab me like other RPGs, and the low stability and frequent glitches have always turned me off the developer. My expectations for Starfield were almost non-existent. From a business standpoint, from the console industry, I recognized that there is a level of importance that this game held for the Xbox brand, unless the Activision deal actually went through, in which case it really didn't matter. Leading up to release, I considered Bethesda, the development studio, to be an unknown quantity. People often confuse the publishing house ZeniMax with the development team Bethesda. And even then, Bethesda doesn't make it all that easy to distinguish between its own internal teams. I mean, did they make Fallout 76, or was it another studio? Depending on who you ask, the story seems to change. So, while rumors had circulated that Starfield had development issues, there was no way to verify this. Leading up to release, I really didn't expect much from the game, or care, frankly. 2023 has been a year packed with games, and even then I've barely touched any of them. I had no idea if this game would click for me, and, well, considering the past few Xbox exclusives, I just didn't have too much expectations. But I like it. I really like it. Now, I don't intend on reviewing this game, because if you've played it, you already have your opinions on this game, but here are my thoughts. Playing on PC, it's not the best optimized title from what I can tell. With my RTX 3080, the fact I'm only getting around 60 FPS at around 1080p is not great. But with that said, mouse and keyboard combat feels awesome. Awesome is the word I used. It's good enough. The powers are great. I like the story so far. The cities feel dense and lived in, and I love the vibe. It feels like playing a Star Trek episode. Now, I wouldn't personally call this Fallout in space, but then again, I barely played the previous Fallout games, so I don't know if I'm the best to judge that. From what I can tell, and from the previous Bethesda games I have played, this is a bit of an acquired taste. Now, I don't want this video to come off in any way as defensive Bethesda or Xbox from the consumers, because I do not give a shit about any of that. I can recognize the game is imperfect, as any game is, but the online reaction seems a little strong, right? Intensely negative. I mean, it's not a 4-quadrant game built to appeal to everybody, which is surprising for a game that was the de facto Xbox Series console system seller. It really isn't a system seller. It's a game that will appeal to a rather niche audience, and that's even within the existing Bethesda audiences, I imagine. At times, it's slow, intentionally so. This is not a game that is going to appeal to a younger crowd looking for a fast-paced FPS adventure, and it's certainly not a game that is going to work well for streamers, for content creators. Now, this isn't to place the blame on short attention spans. I don't want it to come off like that. Not everybody has to enjoy everything. But with that said, the internet is treating this like it is the greatest disaster of all time. Every time I mention this game on stream or anywhere, I seem to get flooded with how could you, like, incredulity. How could you possibly enjoy this game? Now, I'm not gonna lie. I know that the single largest issue with this game a lot of people have is really just a console war one. This is an Xbox exclusive and it's not on PlayStation. I don't give a shit because I have a PC because I'm an adult man. I'm not a child. My daddy didn't have to buy my PlayStation for me. That's gonna piss some people off in the comments. But it's not just Starfield that this negativity seems to be persisting. It's all games. So like when a game is good and people expect it to be good, they don't talk about it. But when a game is bad and they expected it to be good, they'll talk about it for a long time. If it's mixed, they'll argue for even longer. I don't know if I'm just in the wrong circles, but it feels like the internet today is drastically different than the internet from 5 or 10 years ago. Now before, if a game was exceptional or even just good, people would talk about it for a while. Something like Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, I heard people were talking about that for years. Breath of the Wild, the Doom 2016 or whatever. But now, it's like people just, they want to be pissed. If a game is great, and again, I haven't played a lot of 2023 games, I just don't hear about it a lot. Tears of the Kingdom kind of came and went without much of anything except for, yeah, it's good. Zelda again. Same with God of War, Ragnarok. Yeah, you might have games like Elden Ring that remain relevant and in the public square conversations for like 2 weeks, but things are weird now, and negativity seems to win. I'm not saying that I necessarily just want overwhelming positive discourse for every piece of media. There is a time and place for valid criticism, but I think the internet has long since left the boat on valid criticism. A lot of the complaints I see feel like they're from children. A lot of people on the internet seem like they're children, and a lot of people seem to get enjoyment out of complaining about games, about the gaming industry, as opposed to playing those games. And there might be a reason for that. When you're a kid, the way you evaluate media is weird. Okay, here's what I mean. So let's imagine that a majority of the internet is actually children, because the majority of the internet is probably children. Most of the people that are online who have the time to use the internet and social media frequently most of the people who have the time to use the internet frequently are not adults with jobs. right? At least I certainly hope not. When you're a kid, your expectations for any upcoming project, any media that you're excited for are as big as it can possibly get. You don't just want something to be good, you want it to be the best thing ever, and you'll wait years for that thing to release. Now, when you're older, I think you get burned a lot more, and you take the good with the bad. Like for me, I can look at something like Starfield and say there's some good, there's some less good, but for what it is, I'm enjoying what I'm enjoying. And if I don't like it at all, I just quit playing the game, because I don't play shit I don't like. I think a lot of the conversation on the internet is getting skewed towards a meta game of this negativity, and part of that's fueled for profit. So as a content creator, that's what I'm doing. I'm creating content right now. I've realized there's a methodology in how you can exploit people for money. Yeah, you heard that right. All you have to do is just go onto like Reddit or Twitter and just gauge the popular consensus opinion and then regurgitate that back to everybody else. It's really not that hard to do. Anyone can do it. And once you figured out that hive mind sort of mentality, just tell people exactly what they want to hear and you'll get a lot of likes. To be honest, it's slimy, it's schemy, and I don't really do it, but I see why people do it, because, like, put it this way, for me saying I like Starfield, that's not earning me any brownie points on the internet here. I'm gonna get called like a corporate bootlicker or some shit by a 14-year-old who's probably gonna get like killed off by the robots in 20 years anyway. I'm not winning any favors by saying I like this AAA video game. It's not an indie game, so I'm not getting the hipster crowd. It's an exclusive, so the fanboys are gonna think I'm taking a side. It would be a lot better for me to just say, this game is shit. And that's what I could do. I could say Starfield shit, and then I could wait for Spider-Man 2, and I could say Spider-Man 2's great. Or I could say Spider-Man 2's mid, and then get the Xbox fans on my side. I could play the centrist. You just wait, see the reactions that other people have, and you regurgitate it. That's how you do this YouTube shit. Like and subscribe, bitch.